Hello, everybody, and welcome to Silent Podcast, the place where everything but silent. I am your host, as usual, here, Isaiah, to talk about Big Brother 23. We are here to discuss everything that's happened post-veto ceremony. Yes, today we are here to talk about the veto, everything that happened after the veto, who won it, all the little drama, strategic shifts. Not much has changed since last one, so I don't see this being a long stream. That's perfectly fine. We were live for over an hour last time, but I mean, we're just gonna hear just to update a little bit. So I'm very excited to talk about it. I'm here with, as usual, my co-host Sarah Yell. Sarah, how are you doing this fine night?
I'm doing all right. I got my messy bun in, which is probably less messy than the season's going to be in a few upcoming weeks. But I'm excited for everything to unfold, and I hope that we get some drama coming in hot.
Me too. I think since Jerry Face starts next round, I probably will change the background next round. So we'll think about it. But this has been an exciting day. I mean, we're expecting a blindside, and I mean, I guess we sort of got it. I mean, but unfortunately, we found Derek X kind of ruining it for us a little bit. But I mean, we'll get into that anyway. Last time we spoke, we saw what the nominations were, and it was Sarah Beth and Brittany. And for a little bit, it looked like, all right, Christian's the backdoor plan. If Christian does not win veto, he is going on a block. But if he does, or he somehow doesn't go on a block, Sarah Beth is the easy person to go after. We find ourselves with Brittany actually being one of the most calm people this week. Shocker, after her past week performances, and she allegedly wins the veto. We don't know. We've heard the chain of events of what allegedly happened. We have to wait till the episode comes out, but it seems like the veto challenge was the competition, and then you get a reward and you pass it down. And I guess we can break down everything. But Sarah, how do you feel about Queen Brittany's impact finally winning a veto?
Yeah, I think that my opinion of Brittany has been a bit of a roller coaster this season, but right now I am on the Brittany train. I think, I love Ashley, but I think Brittany played really good this week, and I think she honestly set herself up well and is building some bonds and building trust, especially like with Derek X right now. I think they potentially will be working together moving forward, and I think Brittany's been a star this week, personally.
I mean, do you think
too much?
No. I think this week she's handled it. I've seen the fandom kind of turned around on Brittany, and they're like, "Oh, we love Brittany." I never was annoyed by her. I just thought that she was a little too emotional. But we said this last update. We were like, if you can channel that energy and really take an advantage of the spot you're in, I think you could do some real damage. Possibly. Obviously she's a little in over her head. She's like, I'm responsible for Sarah Beth going. I think she actually thinks Sarah Beth is leaving this week. She's not. So she's wrong in that sense. She's going to get humbled. But I mean, she thinks she's doing something. Good for her. You need that confidence. And I like to see Brittany win an HOH to see what she actually does, Sarah.
Yeah, I'm excited for those Kung moves to come out and cover people's throats. I don't know if people saw it, but the video was circulating on Twitter of her doing her karate. I don't know what martial arts. I don't know if I'm offensive. I don't know the exact, but it was. I thought it was pretty impressive. I thought she was fun.
What if they end up doing
kicking around?
If they do that competition, they did that one year that Cody won, where you have to keep pressing the buttons, but like they make them wear kung fu stuff or whatever, and they have to get to a certain number. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh my God. Anyway, so just to talk about the other things that the people got. So allegedly, I'm not 100% sure what everyone else specifically, like what the qualifications were, but it seems like Derek X has a punishment.
Yeah, I heard he turned down $5,000 or something. So people were surprised by that.
It's Sarah Beth's birthday, and I think he wanted to soften the blow, so he gave her the money, so she wasn't as angry at him. So that's what was going on there. I mean, we'll talk about that in a second. But Derek, it seems like he has to dress like a jester or something, blow a horn, and announce anytime someone's going to the bathroom. I'm not super sure what Claire's is, but it looks like she's dressed like a card in a gold suit. So I don't know.
It was like a queen with like a big D. So I was wondering, like some sort of like dunce queen. You know,
something like that.
Yeah.
And then it seems like Sarah Beth got $5,000. And then obviously Brittany got veto, and I'm not sure if anything else was handed out, but I mean, I'm sure they have like a vacation or something. Like they usually have at least like 2 rewards, right?
Yeah, Hawaii.
Hawaii. And real quick, the theme of the house is very weird because they're promoting BB Beach Club, but then
Yeah.
there's rooms like the one we're in right now where it's like poker and
Oh,
cards themes and stuff.
casinos are big in beach towns though. That's like a thing,
Got
like big in
it.
like the
Okay.
Bahamas or I forgot that, like I think the city they're kind of based in. I forgot I don't
Got
know.
it.
I
But
enjoyed the
yeah.
people growing up on the endurance comp too. I was like, oh, we're getting a little PG-13 on Big Brother. I feel like this is a family friendly show. There's drunk people throwing up during the
I
comp.
mean, Jackson Mickey peed himself last time he did the wall comp. So
Yes, he did. I don't think they put it
yeah,
on the show though. I think it was just on feeds.
good thing they didn't. So it seems like I mean, going into the competition, it seems like Sarah Beth and Brittany both knew what was up.
Hmm.
See, Brittany actually wanted Alyssa on the block, but I guess she was also okay with Christian on the block. And Sarah
Hmm.
Beth kind of snaked her own team. I mean, they're not teams anymore, but the Kings Alliance, let's call it that, and kind of was also in the know that Christian was going on the block. So it
Hmm.
seems like before the veto results, there was a little bit of drama because I guess Derek told Alyssa that Christian was going to go up, and then Xavier, Alyssa, Christian. I mean Xavier, Alyssa, Sarah Beth, and Alyssa, whatever, whoever else I'm missing, they had like a conversation, and then Sarah Beth was basically telling Alyssa, "I don't really trust you guys." Alyssa was like, "What? Are you serious?" And it just got it started getting like very chippy and like nasty. And then lastly, we saw Alyssa actually go and tell Christian that he was going on the block, and he was just pissed. I was like, oh my God. Like, I mean, I'm kind of glad a little bit that he did it so we can see it on feeds, but it would have been a lot more beautiful for the episode to see his face like, like not knowing that he was gonna go. So Christian's on the block. I guess we could talk
Hmm.
about the ramifications and stuff, but what is your opinion on these noms, Sarah? Is this the right move for Derek?
I have been I see both sides. This is a weird week where I see a lot of pros and cons to Christian leaving for Derek's game. And overall, I think I'm on the train that it's okay. I think that
Mm-hmm.
there might have been better people for him to go home, but I think Christian leaving isn't like the worst thing because some people are talking about like, oh, it's good to have like a comp threat in front of you or whatever, but I think Derek X still would have gone on the block for the people that wanted him. I don't even know. And Christian, I think Christian, if he did get it again, would have put him up. And I thought Derek X did have a very good quote. I think when he on the live feeds when he was talking, I think he was talking to Alyssa when he says, "We know about like it's not the right time for Christian to go." And it's like, yeah, you might be right. Like maybe it isn't the right time for Christian to go,
Yeah.
but when it is the right time, I might not be HOH. And I think that is a thing in Big Brother they don't always think about because like they try to have this boot order list, but the thing is you don't know who's going to win HOH, and so like that boot order list isn't solidified, and so like you should get on the
Mm-hmm.
person you care about the most when you can. Take the shot when you have the gun.
I agree. And I mean, to be honest, I mean, this is, like I said, 100% Derek's move. I don't think anyone's really influencing it. He wanted this. He told Tiffany, despite her not wanting to do this. So be it. I will say, I kind of give major props to Tiff. It was a sloppy move a little bit, but it was also, it was fun. And it was actually, if she succeeded, it would have been some like 4D chess type stuff. Like what she
Mm-hmm.
did was she let Alyssa know right after the veto selections that Christian was a target, and if he did not win veto or Alyssa didn't win veto, that he will be going on the block. It
Mm-hmm.
was very interesting. Alyssa didn't fully believe that; they really believed Derek, but like she tried to warn him. And I thought this was interesting because if in a situation that the veto is used like it is now, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to buy them some trust with Tiffany first and foremost because she told them this and they can't really
Mm-hmm.
have surprise. But if it's successful, Sarah still leaves, and then if they win, they could be like, DX, I heard you were going to put me up. What's going on? And it's like I think it's smart to put the showmances or at least the comp threats against each other because they'll always keep the focus on each other instead of like big tiff, you know what I'm saying? Like it was
Mm-hmm.
funny, like during the conversation after the veto today, like X was like, someone is responsible for this. Like, DX isn't going to make a move like this without someone backing him. We just don't know who it is. And I'm like, oh, it's Tiffany. Like, y'all get like so played. So I mean, it's interesting what she's trying to do. I know that she's allegedly saying that she's not trying to get Sarah Beth out because Derek wants her out. I mean, wants Christian out. But we all know in reality that like she's trying to plant seeds and hope it gets some traction. But unfortunately, it seems like Ozza is very pro Derek X this week. So without like Ozza, honestly, in my opinion, you're not going to have Hannah. It's just like it's kind of a lost cause. So I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. So I did also want to talk about because this was happening earlier today. Tiffany and Kylan are blatantly like taking shots at each other. I think Kylan knows that this was a shot at him. And it's going to get interesting because now next week Claire isn't going to be immune. If Kylan really wants to, because he keeps trying to take a shot at Sarah, who might be staying. It's looking like she's going to stay. Kylan, now the gloves are off. He can take a shot at Claire if he wants to. Now I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't know if he should. I don't know if he will, but like anyone can take a shot at Claire now. So it's like I don't know what's going to happen. It's Claire. It's definitely like Kylan versus Tiffany in one side. There's also like Derek X, versus Christian going on. Lissa's not going to let that slide when she's gone. It's just like it's a battle of the numbers. It's very scattered, so it should be an interesting week, Sarah. But like, what do you think of Tiffany trying to get Sarah Beth out?
Yeah, I think it makes sense for Tiffany to get Sarah Beth out because I think Tiffany is so connected in the house. I think that is someone that she's not as connected to. And I think she realizes that Sarah Beth is really trying to be more of a logical player, I think. And so I don't think that Tiffany can necessarily use emotions to make Sarah Beth feel bad about putting her up at some point in the game. So I think it is potentially someone that's scary to Tiffany. But I don't know. Sarah Beth right now, I don't think there's a lot of people in the house right now that are not in good places and I think are starting to be very scared. Like Sarah Beth is one. Who does Sarah Beth really have besides Kylan now? Alyssa's going to be one. Who does Alyssa really have besides like maybe Xavier in her head? Maybe she has this relationship with Tiffany, but like I feel like she probably feels like she's on the outs. Even people like Kylan right now. Xavier was talking to Tiffany today and being like, Kylan's going to be the first one to go to the cookout. And to like already have that in your head that Kylan's going to be the first one to go now, I just think he should maybe jump ship sooner than later if he somehow figures that out.
We could talk about the cookout actually because I'm glad you said that. It's kind of like I can see like cracks forming even bigger right now because unintentionally or intentionally, Tiffany has really taken a shot at everyone's +1 minus Hannah. At this moment, and I mean, if the word gets back to Hannah that she was trying to push Sarah Beth, then maybe she could feel some type of way as well. So Tiffany is really like all over the place, but like they can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, she's been messy the past few weeks. And
but
somehow it hasn't caught up to her. Yeah.
Because she's protected with all these numbers. Like you have at least one person in each faction trusting you. Can't Christian trusts Tiffany. You got
people aren't comparing notes.
Like Christian trusts Tiffany, Hannah trusts Tiffany, and then you got Claire trusting Tiffany. So there's at least one person in every single team that trusts her. So you can't really take a shot at her. And then like the only team that's iffy is like Derek F and Ozza and Brittany's team. But even with that, Derek F and Ozza are in the cookout. So it's like it gets complicated, So she's very well protected. I just want to see how long it's gonna last.
Do you know who Tiffany kind of reminds me of as a player? Actually, now that I
have an idea, but let me see what you gotta say.
I'm gonna go with Andy Herron, because I feel like he was kind of like played. I think she is playing a bit of a rat game, but because we all like Tiffany, I think we don't think of her as being like a rat. But she's constantly like
there's nothing wrong with the rat
information game. And like telling people things, and just like everyone right now trusts her so much they're not comparing notes.
The difference between Andy and Tiffany is Andy was very social, and then he kind of took the Sarah Beth approach at the beginning where he dropped information when it was very smart and very like at very specific times. He didn't spill all the time. He wasn't trying to micromanage people's games, but Tiffany is more like she's 24 around the clock. Like she's always playing. Andy was always trying to make friends. Like Andy did what I think Tiffany should have been doing, which is talking, making friends, and then he only talks game when it's appropriate. And then he found that specific spot to like strike, and then he struck at the like double eviction, and then ran the rest of the game. That's what he did. Tiffany, in my book, is more of a mixture of. At first, I was saying Vanessa and June at the beginning, but honestly, her social game kind of took a step back for the last 2 weeks. So I'm seeing more Vanessa in her game. It's a lot more sporadic and spunky and out there. She's trying to make big moves. She honestly tried to do a blindside of a blindside this week because if she was successful, Sarah Beth leaving, she blindsides Derek F. as well. Like it's X. It's like really like messy. Like I see a lot more Vanessa in her game personally, but I see what you're trying to get at. So that's a cool comparison.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm also excited that if Christian goes this week, this is a true blind or backdoor, which is always fun. I feel like that's pretty rare that you actually, because for my definition of a backdoor, the player is not allowed to play in the veto.
Yeah.
Some people just say you get put on the block after the veto, but I think you can't play in the veto.
I agree. And honestly, I was talking to my friend today. He was like, oh my gosh, like Christian honestly is like a lock for All Stars 3. I said, get out of here. Are you serious? I'm like, stop. Like he's going pre-jury. He's won so many comps. I'm like, he's won
that person goes on the challenge, not BB All Stars.
I'm like, he's won 4 challenges. I'm like, what makes him and Fessy any different? Fessy won 3 challenges and did the same thing. He's listening to everything Alyssa says, just like he listened to everything Haley says. It's like he's not an all-star. Cut that out.
Yeah, Jackson Mickey won a bunch of comps and won the game, and that boy's never being asked back.
Like please. So who's in the best spot right now?
Who's in the best spot?
I have my
right
opinion,
now.
but I want to see what you're gonna say.
This is like the best chance to get to the end game. That's what we're talking about. I'm gonna go with Xavier.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Xavier is getting like a reality check this week. I think he thought that he was running the game, and he thought that he can somehow keep all the kings unscathed. Like I thought that was an act at first, but he really means it. Like he really tried to get like the kings not touched this week. But like I think it's like people kind of felt some type of way that like he didn't want a king to leave this week. I think he's still in good graces with people, but like he needs to stop trying to protect Christian and Alyssa and Sarah Beth though, because then they're going to be like, oh, well, let's put Sarah Beth and Alyssa on the block next week until you stop this, So, I think he's in a great position. I'm scared for him. Like, I don't know what his end goal plan is. Like, because I was like, if you're really rocking this hard for the Kings, I'm like, what? Like, who is your loyalty really to? Like he really honestly, he pulled a Derek. He pulled an Ozza with Brittany. Like, I'm like, why are you trying to why are you wasting your social capital on Christian? Like he benefits from Christian leaving. I'm like, Alyssa is going to be all yours, and Sarah Beth is going to be like your secondary after Kylan. Like, there's no.
I think he just wanted them all in jury. I don't. I think he'll cool it. I think he's going to cool it after this week. I do.
It's probably emotional attachment for sure. I will say, I personally think Hannah is in the best spot right now. She secured another final 2 on top of she got Tiffany. She sort of has one with X. And now she has one with Derek X. So, I really like Hannah. I've thought that I'm so glad that Derek X was willing to take all the blood because she was like, what can I do to help your HOH? He said, take a nap, go. And she legit just hasn't done anything but like just chill, and like she is nowhere in the crossfire. Like she's chilling. She got to be like Ozza and Derek F this week. Like they literally Ozza and Derek F every week just go into that one room and they just sleep all day. Like she got to do that this week. Like she didn't have to do a single thing. People still like her. People still want to work with her. She's great. Like I am so proud of Hannah. I think she's doing a great job. She's protected. She's not going any. Remember I told you I was like, if she don't go next week or this week, I'm like, she's gone. And guess what? Like I think she's set up for a while. So I think Hannah's playing the best game right now.
We'll see though. It's just like her name's been out there in people's mouths, and so like that's like sure. like Brittany. Like once you're a Brittany, it's just easy to be like, oh, who else do I put up? Maybe Hannah.
Who's going to vote her out? 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 Who's going to vo
Yeah, that's true, but we'll
Like
see.
she can't do it.
Also, Derek X and Hannah for Amazing Race.
I will be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think they
When
probably will get asked. I don't know, like at
I
least
don't know
for
what
of anyone this season.
we need to see more amazing. Like I miss Amazing Race. I mean, I get why not because COVID, but like I need Amazing Race back because like
Hmm.
man. Um. So yeah, lastly, just to run down of people that we haven't spoke about. I mean, like I said, Azam, Derek F, they're just sleeping.
Yeah,
Nothing changed there.
Asa's doing. She's doing. I think they're both playing a little more than they have in the past.
I think Azza and Derek, Azza definitely is. I've been seeing
Yeah,
her talk more.
I could see
Now
it, and I
that
could see Ozza jump ship a bit too, because I feel like the people she's closest to in the house might be Brittany. Well, I think Derek App. I think she's close to Derek App, but then also like
hmm,
Brittany and Sarah Beth. I think she's quite close with them.
she's been talking a
So
lot to Xavier too, actually.
yeah, so I feel like she. Who's gonna put Ozza up? Honestly, she could be in a she's in a
She
weirdly
could
good
be a
spot, but
pawn.
not in a good spot to
She could be
win.
a
So
pawn.
yeah.
And then Claire, I wish Claire took more initiative. Like I feel like you
Mhm.
were safe for 2 weeks. You could have just made a lot more deals. She really didn't. Like she's still fine, but like I see her still holding on to that Tiffany bond where really she should be doing her own thing. I think she's missed. This was like the perfect
Yeah.
2 weeks to just talk game with people, and she just didn't. So
Yeah. And who's gonna be
I
mad if Claire gets put up? Who's gonna be mad? I don't think Tiffany's even gonna be that
nobody,
mad.
nobody. Like I'm scared for her. I really am. Like she understands what she needs to do. She just isn't doing it. So I'm afraid for her.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Alyssa, I honestly think benefits from Christian leaving, and she will be able to float a little bit and talk some game. I think
Hmm.
her and Tiffany can get very close because they have shared information. I just need to see it happen. Um, and then lastly, I'm trying to think, am I missing anybody? I think we spoke about everybody, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
we've
think so.
yeah, we talked. Wow, this cast is getting small. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I know. That's
But
why
yeah,
I really think that once we get to jury, I think there's a good chance that people like Alyssa and Hannah, that I think people do see as more floaters, will be able to make it pretty far, because I think they will start taking shots at the big players now.
do you think there's going? Who? See, look, we're getting introduced to another twist next week. It seems like some sort of America's vote thing. I hope and pray that they're not trying to replicate any type of BB App Store, Den of Temptation, something where, oh, America's going to vote to give you a Diamond Power veto. America's going to vote to give you a double vote, a vote
Do you remember
steal.
the whack field trip they did? Like no
Like,
one even knew, no one even understood what it was.
here's the thing. I don't know why Big Brother thinks that we need the America's vote to like we don't need these power. We don't need this isn't Survivor. Like
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with what we're doing. You can do America votes to give people money.
Yeah,
America
America
vote
votes to make them like pie each other in the face.
or yeah, or like a Dan Giesling type of like America's player. I would love to someone to do what Dan did to Jesse to like Derek F or something, get a hug for like 30
Oh
seconds.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
perfectly like we can do that, but
Hmm.
we really don't need powers. Like I don't want powers in the game. Like this cast right now is giving it. I'm so
Yeah.
scared they're going to screw this up. They do this every time. I remember Big Brother 20 was about to get real crazy, and then he threw in the Big Brother hacker twist. Like I really hope that they don't mess us up. I'm not a fan of America's vote twist. I'm not a fan of it. So I just hope and pray to God that they aren't putting a bunch of OP twists in here and ruining the game. I really hope not. Like just leave it alone. Just make this something wacky and funny. Leave the game alone. We're about to jump into a war. Just like leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone, Allison. Leave it alone. America's vote power. I agree, Sammy. Just leave it alone. Um, anyway, I had to get that off my chest because I hate when they throw stuff in the game. But anyway, Sarah, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how long it's gonna be before Whitney gives a good old "I told you so" to Christian for not backdooring Derek X instead of her. Because she
Oh
did
wait,
say, she's like, he would backdoor you, and he's like, no, no, no.
last thing. Do you think there's going to be a jury buyback?
Oh, jury? Yeah.
You think so? You think you're going to do a return player this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think they usually do it. I
They didn't do it last season. Well, the last 2 seasons they haven't done it.
Yeah,
Other than Camp Comeback, sort of. But I'm like Jerry Face, they haven't done it.
yeah, because if they're gonna do it, it was gonna be jury face because of
And they've been
COVID. You
sending
don't want to
everybody
have to.
home. So we
Yeah,
might
but they
not
already
even
the
get that.
pre-jury, the stuff like pre-jury is being sent home, so they're not doing it. But
I'm gonna do the math. I'm gonna look at the schedule and see how many weeks we have left, and I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna be
it's
on the
hard though
case
because they do doubles.
or triples. You know what? You're right. Anyway,
So
that's what we got here.
yeah.
Everyone, thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, please follow all our pages. There is the Twitter, there is the Twitch, there is the YouTube, and please follow, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Every little bit helps. We are actually, I'm glad I totally remember this. We are actually setting up all of our podcasts to be on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that stuff. Geneva is setting that up, so it's lit. So keep a lookout for updates for that. We should have that up by like next week, but please keep a lookout for that. But anyway, Sarah, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at SarahYell06.
All right, is nothing going on?
On the Twitter, no, nothing's going on. Maybe I'll
Okay.
tweet tomorrow. Maybe I'll tweet something.
Once every year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then like usually you can find me at 8 Ball Bangers. Oh, I messed up for the first time in a long time. You can find me at 8 Ball Bangers, where you can see me just tweet about like Big Brother related things, anime, sports, and all that fun stuff. I'm usually just ranting, trying to get retweets. So keep a lookout for that. But until next, when do we usually meet? We're going to meet on. Oh
Friday.
no, Sarah's not
But
going to be here
I'll.
Friday. I'm going to be here, so I'm going to try to
Mhm.
get a guest. But you'll see me on Friday. Sarah's not going to be here. So
Yeah.
until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.